Well, I didn't know how fucking bad things were yesterday because around 4:30 I was talking to Lorena and I got the alert on my phone that we're under a tornado warning or watch or whatever the fuck it was. And she goes, "Well, what are you doing on the phone with me?" I'm like, where am I going to go? I got no basement. So I didn't get hit, luckily, but unfortunately, a lot of my friends got slammed. I mean, basically, there's like hurricane-like damage out here. You know, a tornado must have formed on the lake and hit a couple places. Really fucked up. Friends of mine are saying they're not going to get their power turned on till the 14th at the earliest. So, it's one of those times you'd be thankful that you know what you got and you're unscathed and shit. But fuck, that was too close. Town over for me got a lot of shit. That was really too fucking close. But I'm still here, and any of my friends in the Cleveland area need anything, feel free to email me on my busted up computer, because I still ain't got the fucking thing back again. Nope, got it back and it shit the bed again, so I don't know what I'm doing here. New Windows 7 in a box, that's as far as my technical expertise goes. But anyway, let's talk about a movie then. Summer of Sleaze, 1973. Black Mama, White Mama. Of course, anybody who's seen this film knows it's just a low-budget takeoff on the Defiant Ones with Sidney Poitier and Tony Curtis. But this one's a lot more fun because it's got blood, boobs, and all kinds of other crazy shit, plus Sid Haig, Vic Diaz, and the usual suspects. Pam Grier is a prostitute who was ripped off her pimp, Vic Diaz, over, I think, $40,000. Margaret Markoff is a revolutionary who basically was going to supply her guys with weapons, but the two of them got arrested at once and thrown into prison, where we have a carpet-munching warden and head of the guards. So, of course, the head of the guards gets shit-faced and puts the moves on both of the chicks, who wind up in this sweatbox. So now they are going to be taken into town to be interrogated further when the revolutionaries hit the convoy. And two women get away but are chained together and really don't like each other. So, a couple little cat fights here and there, some ample nudity, and we're on the roll as they basically mug two nuns, take their habits, and hitch a ride with truck driver Bruno Polenzan, who's a regular in all these films. You might remember him as Razak from Mad Doctor of Blood Island and Beast of Blood. So anyway, he starts drinking and notices that the two are handcuffed, and they whack him over the head with the bottle and steal his truck. They then ditch the nuns' outfits and try to get the chains sawed off, but they wake up some drunken derelict who basically tries to rape Margaret Markoff, so he gets stabbed in the gut with a big screwdriver. In the meantime, this redneck drug dealer bounty hunter named Ruben, played by Sid Haig, and is basically... Sid said he played it as a redneck wild card, is hired by the police lieutenant, played by another regular, Eddie Garcia, to track down the two women. Of course, this leads to several interesting confrontations, and one where basically Ruben catches the police lieutenant and someone else in the car with one of his hookers, and he asks which one has the bigger pecker. That's a fun scene. So anyway, Ruben and his boys duke it out with the revolutionaries, and Ruben buys the farm. Unfortunately, Vic Diaz is waiting at the docks for them two to show up, and there's another gunfight there with the police lieutenant and his men also arriving too. Pam gets away with the money, Margaret gets shot, and basically the film fades out on their bodies with Eddie Garcia walking around saying, "I'm probably going to get a promotion for this." Good action, shoot 'em up, take off on the women in prisons genre, as I said, with the Defiant Ones in the background. Overall cast is great. Was produced by John Ashley and Eddie Romero, and this is one time Ashley did stay off camera and said this, out of all the films he produced, was the one that was the most profitable. Of course, we always, great to see regulars like Vic Diaz and Bruno and Eddie, floating around in there. I think there must be some bylaw in the Filipino filmmaking laws that Vic Diaz has to be in every film. But, Vic was mocked by John Landis one time in one of his little interviews about this creepy Filipino guy who looked like Peter Lorre and shit like that. Vic was probably one of the most prolific actors to come out of the Philippines. I mean, he's done some dramatic stuff. He's done the horror stuff. He's done the exploitation stuff. I mean, he's like the everyman of the Filipino actors there. And like I said, Sid's always great to watch. And you know what was weird too? You know, Sid always told me how tight him and Pam were, and you know how like when they met on Jackie Brown, how it was like, you know, a day had never passed. Oddly, when I read her book, she never even mentioned Sid, which I thought was pretty shitty, but that's my opinion. So again, my friends out in Cleveland, you need anything, feel free to shoot me an email. I'll do whatever I can. And for the rest of you, hopefully you'll have an uneventful weekend. So stay safe, be good, and we'll catch you on the flip side.